Okay, so as I was saying, I was confused, and then when I got to the office the next day, the accountant said I have to pay, and I was begging them that okay, they can remove the money from my salary installmentally, maybe like 4 times in my salary, because if they take everything, like everything from my first or second month, how do I transport myself to the office? How do I survive the month without a salary? So that was what I told the accountant. The accountant said, maybe I should find someone, maybe my boyfriend or whoever it is I'm with, to help me pay. I said, how does that even make sense? Just try, sir. Just help me, because there's nothing I can do about this now. It is not even my fault this money got missing. The accountant said, okay, that's the only thing they can do for me. So I was confused. And I was wondering, I locked this place. I don't even leave this key anywhere. I always keep this key with me. So if anyone had gained access into this space, it must be that the person has a spare. Maybe the person has a spare key to this space. I was wondering what happened. I now understood why my friend told me I should be careful. Only God knows how much she had paid from her pocket unknowingly. Remember, I said I was friends with most of the people working there. So I didn't have a choice. I paid. In fact, because of what happened, it just really killed my morale. I've been working in the place. I've shown some form of integrity in that place of work, and I expected that they would at least allow me pay like 4 months so that I can survive the other months, and they didn't agree. They didn't even care how I would survive the other months. So it really affected me so much that the enthusiasm I used to have at work just reduced a bit. I wasn't so happy at work anymore and all. And then I would give my extra apart from work, and that's where I learned that no matter how much you do for any company, their job is their job. If you die today, they will resume their job the next day. If you die today, by the next day they have mourned you maybe for 1 minute, and the next minute they have moved on with their work. I learned that day. So I didn't have a choice. I just struggled all through the following months, and they took my salary. At that time, you can imagine how much that kind of money would be. I'm talking about maybe more than 10 years ago. Okay. So the issue went like that, and then after a while, because I wasn't really comfortable with some things happening at the company, and at some point I had to even train some people that came in. I wasn't comfortable with so many things happening at the company. My partner and I just had a discussion with my partner, and I don't want to delve into what really led me into leaving the company. I resigned. I personally just resigned. There were so many things that went into it that made me resign. It's not only because of the money. There are so many other things attached to it. So I don't want to go into the details because so many things had to make me resign. So I resigned my job. After I resigned, I was not even paid my salary for the month I worked before I left when I resigned the place. Then after a few years, let's just say after that incident happened and I resigned the place, and it was much later after the incident happened that I even resigned my job. So years later, after I had left that place of work, someone just called me randomly. I think I was coming back from somewhere. I went for a program and I was coming back. So I was so excited to receive her call because I had not even heard from her in years. So I was so excited, and then the only thing sometimes I see her on Facebook, all those times I was talking about, Facebook wasn't really so popular. It wasn't really a thing at that time. Social media had not really gained ground at that time. So I was so excited to hear from this friend of mine that, wow, let me call her name Princess. I don't want to call her real name. I was like, Princess, it's good to hear from you. It's been years. How are you? How's the family? She said, they're fine and everything. She now said, the thing is, there's something I would like to talk to you about. So I said, okay, go ahead. She said, maybe when you get home. I said, well, don't worry. Where I am, I'm the only one hearing whatever it is you're saying on the phone. So just go ahead with whatever it is you want to say. Do you know that this lady told me that the money that was stolen at that time, she was the one that took it? And I called this person my friend. And she did not even know what this money she took cost me. It cost me my integrity, my pride. If not because the company actually trusted me, they would have sent me a thief. Because after that thing happened, I still continued working there. They would have removed me from the department. That would have tarnished my image. If they wanted to take drastic measures, they would have even maybe gotten me arrested. You know. She now said, the thing is, she had not had peace since that thing happened, and then over the years she has just been thinking of how she was going to call me to tell me that at that time her mom was sick, she didn't know what to do, and they needed money, so she didn't know what to do. She found a way to get into the office, in my office then, and she took the 100,000. Guys, I couldn't say a word. You know, I was smiling. I was so excited to hear from her. The smile just dimmed. And the next thing, she was and I went for prayers, and then they told me that I offended some people, I should go for restitution. So now she came to me for restitution. I was dumbfounded. I couldn't even say a word. Later, I just ended the call. She kept calling me. I didn't pick the call because I was mad. I knew this thing happened years back, but then you can imagine how I felt. This thing she did even caused a problem for me recently. Like I said, I don't want to go into much details about it. But this lady didn't know the extent to which what she did had cost me so many things. I was mad that someone I called a friend could do this to me. In fact, I had to delete her number from my phone. I had to stop talking to her. Then I saw my partner. I was telling my partner, oh, see, can you imagine what happened that time? This that happened. You remember that time? What happened then? Can you imagine that so person called me and told me that she was the one that took the money? Though I expected that I would be surprised as well, but he wasn't really surprised. It's been years. It took me weeks to wrap my head around it. And I didn't know how to handle it. But then, because of the kind of heart I have, I easily let go of people. I forgive easily. So, I had to forgive her. So after a while, she called me. I forgave her, but there were boundaries. So I had to unfriend her on Facebook. Every platform she had access to me, I had to unfriend her, I had to block her. But then I forgave her, and I told her that I'd forgiven her because this thing happened years back. But then I don't think I would want to still remain connected to her in any way. So guys, I would like to ask you, if you were in my shoes, what would you have done? Would you have forgiven her? Do you think I overreacted by letting this stay for weeks before forgiving her? What would you have done? Like I said, this thing caused a problem for me. I think even within earlier this year, it caused a problem for me, and I don't want to go into details about it because it came to play a game. So you can imagine what that can do to your image as a human being, especially for someone who had really been someone of integrity. What would you have done if you were in my shoes? What would you have done in that case? Please share your opinion. Share what you have done, what you would have done if it was you in my shoes. What would you have done? Share what you would have done in the comment section. Let me know what you would have done if you were in my shoes. Thank you guys. Thank you for always listening to my stories. Don't worry, I will still share more stories because there are so many things I have to share, so many experiences I've had. So let's just hear what you would have to say about this. Let's hear what you would do in this case if it was you.